Apologies there. Kubo just across midfield. Back for Angulo. Angulo over to the right side. Powell. Cincinnati will be deliberate here. We looked at the team sheet and wondered, would we see a 3-4-3 or a 4-2-3-1? Are you seeing more of a 3-4-3 at this point, Kevin?
I think from Chicago you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's clear they're playing with the back four for sure. They just sit with two holders in front and then three. It does seem that it is a 4-2-3-1. I think for FC Cincinnati, though, it's not really going to make a difference. I think both Kimi Ordonez and Acosta are going to have to occupy both centre backs.
Over the left side, Kendall Burks looks up, sends it across midfield, but nobody was there. Gutierrez was a good 10 or 15 yards behind the ball. That skipped to Celentano at the top of the 18. Roman Celentano continuing to have a fine sophomore season at 1.00 goals against average, 7 clean sheets. Barrial back to Mascara. Now on the near side, it's Herbers. Into the middle, we have Shabilko, not able to connect with Kutsias.
I think the key thing here is you're kind of attacking against 4 defenders, 2 centre backs, and 2 traditional fullbacks. The opposite side, Gaddis and Barrial have to get very high as those wing backs. You're going to try to create separation and draw all the fullbacks from Chicago out to create central channels.
Kubo into the center circle towards Miazga. And now Alvis Powell, his first start at center back. But if you're just joining us, played a few minutes there against New York City, closing out the match on Wednesday night. Certainly has trained with FC Cincinnati there when they've been short at the position. Gaddis on the right side, taps it to Powell, the Jamaican national. Into the center circle, Miazga. Now Angulo. For Marco, it's his 4th start of the year. Mascara mishits the ball. He knew as soon as it went off his foot, it was no good. But Obi Wobodo's there to regain the possession in the midfield, and we'll send it back to Mascara.
Just watching Chicago as well, very deep as far as their defensive setup. Looks so far that they just want to kind of wait, allow FC Cincinnati to have the ball, have possession, and kind of create like a lower line of confrontation.
Herbert's just outside of the 18, looking for a cross to flex off Fierson Mascara. We'll have the match's first corner kick, and it'll come for the visitors. Chicago now led by Frank Lopez after Ezra Hendrickson was let go a month ago. They haven't seen much of a new coach bump. Have not been victorious since May 13th against St. Louis. A loss and 3 draws in their last 4 games. Corner will come from the near side. Swung across by Jairo Torres, gets around everywhere. Suke was in preventative shape and collects inside of the final third. Angulo's there with him step for step. Suke on the far side, looking for a cross. Angulo takes it off his foot, and a foul will be whistled as Marco went through. Suke commits the foul, and a real dangerous spot coming for a free kick for the Fire.
This position right here is kind of screaming out for a delivery to Shabilko. I've seen him so many times in Olmsburg, the centre back too, also a good aerial threat, but obviously since it might be a good test, I think for the back three especially. Miazga, Mascara, and Alvis Powell. Just how Chicago are set up, they've got height at the back post.
Jairo Torres will send it in. He was trying to find Herbers. Cleared by Cincinnati to the midfield. Federico Navarro will slide over to the ball and put it in play. Set back forward, headed away Ray Gaddis. Over to the far side, it'll trickle out, and Chicago will have a throw. Cincinnati sure seemed to think it came off of Chicago. Their argument will fall upon deaf ears. 11th minute, scoreless here in the 10th meeting between Cincinnati and Chicago. Tom Glider and Kevin McCluskey happy to be with you. Our on-site engineer tonight, Dave Abbott. Ball rolls all the way back to former FC Cincinnati man Spencer Ritchie. Lucio right foot the ball forward. Now in his second season with Chicago. And Chicago's offside for the second time tonight, trying to get it forward to Gutierrez. Slipped behind the last defender for Cincinnati, and actually that was Koutsias. 18-year-old native of Greece. Yazga for Wobodo. Now Kubo was knocked away, but Wobodo was there to collect. Barrial on the near side. Alvaro swinging it into the 18, knocked away. Kendall Burks found it first. Gutierrez with a head of steam was slowed down just enough by Miazga. Turns around right near the center circle. Then played into the midfield, but misplayed to Alvaro Barrial. Barrial looking up for help. Doesn't have anywhere to go. Chicago did well to get back. Angulo, Wobodo, Mosquera, and onto Acosta. Angulo, double team, loses the possession, poked back, but right to Mosquera, and then Marco's going to be whistled for a foul and trying to get that possession.
Not sure if you noticed that last attack with Barrial, the choice of pass. Instead of trying to swing it in kind of head height, he put it kind of about waist height. And again, I think that's in the back of his head that he doesn't have those target players. And the Brandon Vazquez and the Dominic Badji, he tried to invite and kind of challenge that way. So it's definitely going to be different. We talked about, longer passes from the back line, but also then from wide positions as you try to play into those targets. You're having different target players or different forwards, center forwards, and you've got to try to change up to suit their game and their physical kind of attributes.
Fouls whistled on Kendall Burks, who knocked down Kimi Ordonez. This will give Cincinnati their first chance on a set piece to send their center backs forward, which will actually give them some height in the box because they lack that without Don Badji and Brandon Vazquez starting tonight.
Believe it or not, it makes a difference, right? Especially when they're the highest players that you've got as targets.
Acosta with his right foot into the penalty area. Burks finds it first and knocks it away, but Acosta will track it down. He has Barrial behind him and sends it to his fellow Argentine. Barrial eyeing things and then mishits the ball. I'm not sure if he was trying to maybe connect with Kimi Ordonez or get to Matt Miazga. Either way, it went between the two players and out on the end line.
Oh, he's a player that we've talked about too, Tommy. I think keeping an eye on him tonight and kind of his production, the distance covered. He's a guy that's played a ton of minutes too, so I can't anticipate that he's going to play here. I would find it very difficult to believe that he's going to play the entire game, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Well, and I mentioned earlier, Matt Miazga has started every MLS match. Alvaro actually has as well. He just hasn't played every minute of every MLS match. So Two outfielders have started all 16 MLS matches now, that being Miazga, in the middle of the three center backs, and Barrial, who for my money should go to the Major League Soccer All-Star game for the way that he has played on the left side this season. It would be a crime if he's not recognized.
It's kind of interesting. I had a conversation with Phil Keane, who's on the staff, obviously, looking at sports performance, and I talked to him about kind of the average distance covered. He said about between 8 and 11K, I think, kilometers per game. Obviously, then you think about the position specific, going to cover more distances. Midfielders typically do, wing backs do. And so the wing back position, you talked about Matt Miazga, he's playing as a centre back. He's not going to cover as much ground as the guy like Alvaro Barrial, right? So even if you look at those minutes, you think about distance covered, it is a big toll that you have to kind of undertake.
Costa was trying to weave away from a couple defenders and get inside of the 18. Not able to connect to the Ray Gaddis, who is firing in. However, it's cleared away to the far touchline, so a throw in for the orange and blue. Into the center circle, Mosquera. Over to Barrial on the near side. Alvaro has been a workhorse this year for Pat Noonan. No question about that. And when he hits a wall in the second half, he hits the wall in a big way, and they know that.
Yeah.
And they certainly will monitor his health tonight. Miazga, Mosquera. To the right, Powell. Onto the far side, Gaddis is there. 15 minutes gone, we remain scoreless. And Gulo. On to the left, Mosquera will push into the final third. Pearson taps it off for Barrial, right at the touchline. And then back to Mosquera. Into the center circle, Miazga. Slides it to the right, Powell. On to Acosta. The Sevis in his face. Acosta's not able to get around him and find Gaddis. Kendall Burks will clear into the midfield, but Matt Miazga's there to head the ball down and give it back to the Jamaican Powell. Wobodo. Chicago has 9 of 10 outfielders behind the ball right now as Wobodo pushes into the attacking third. Barrial looking for a cross. It's not there. Herbers stepped in the way. It pings off the foot of Suke, and he does well to find Herbers as Chicago tries to clear their defensive third. It'll skip to Acosta. Shabilko went down fighting for the ball, and Dulo will continue to attack. Shabilko slow to his feet, but getting up. Neither side has a shot in the first quarter of an hour. Mascara for Acosta. Wobodo back to Lucha. Now Kubo turning towards the goal. Goes to his right and has Gaddis. Wobodo back in the middle of the pitch. Sends it on to his left and Mascara. Gerson Mascara will try a shot from distance, about 25 yards away. There's your first shot of the match. It goes well wide, but not a terrible look.
He wasn't that far away, but probably 2 yards off target. You know, he came in, he hit it with his right as he cut it inside, but good pace on it. Maybe 5.
Yeah,
5 yards there.
I was going to say, you were being a little generous. But it could have gone way worse.
No, it was a good strike. And again, a guy like Spencer Ritchie, the goalkeeper, you want to try to keep on your toes. And as we've talked about the attack and how it's going to be very different with the personnel out there, you've got to try to find different ways to create those chances. And having a centre back that has the confidence to drive in and take that shot, pull the trigger. You saw Pat Noonan, his reaction was to clap and applaud and at the effort. So a good sign from Mascara that he's growing in confidence.
Barrial on the throw into Mascara. We'll find Miazga. Cincinnati again will work through their back line right at the midfield. Mascara up to Acosta. Lucho sends it over to the right side. Gaddis heads it on. Kimi Ordonez giving chase. Won't quite get to it as the ball had too much pace and finds the end line.
Just watching this so far, I think if you're Kimi, you want to try to get a little bit more on the ball, some additional touches to get confidence up and get into rhythm. So far, I think Angulo, I think Kubo, I think have looked very comfortable. And they've made an effort to kind of get in there. The game just hasn't come to Kimi just yet. Naturally, Acosta is dropping a little bit, and at times Kubo's actually the higher player.
Right. Miazga will step in front of Shabilko, and Alvis Powell leaps through the air and chops the ball forward. It actually finds Ordonez. Wobodo heads it on towards Kimi. Kubo will try to find it just outside of the 18. Kimi is down. Foul is whistled on Chicago. And a free kick coming for the orange and blue about 32, 35 yards out. Straight away to the goal. And as Kimi was fouled.
I think as this ball came in, Kimi's just trying to attack it. There's heavy contact.
And Wyatt Armsberg.
He comes in from Armsberg, the center back. And as you mentioned, about 35 yards from goal, this free kick. I would imagine Acosta's going to be the taker, but you've got Alvaro Barrial. But we saw that fantastic goal against New York City FC with his left foot midweek.
Spencer Ritchie will get his men set along the edge of the penalty area. Right now, hugging the right post, he'll drift into the middle of the goal. Acosta and Barrial, of course, stand over the ball. Everybody else lined up right at the edge of the 18. Barrial with the left foot. It picks up a deflection off a Chicago defender, and Cincinnati has their first corner of the match coming. Acosta will drift over to the near side. It'll come to the right of Spencer Ritchie. The Bailey applauding their approval as the captain will take this one. He has Barrial there if he wants to play it short right near the corner of the 18. Acosta serves it into the penalty area. It's chopped away. Suke found it. And another opportunity coming for the captain. Ball deflected back onto the pitch, so he'll have to go over to knock it away. A little bit of pushing and shoving. Tagawa's Powell and Gerson Mosquera involved as they get set up. There's Penso, the veteran official, will sort it out. And now Acosta again with his right foot. Drives it into the penalty area. Yuya Kubo was there on the shot, but it deflected away. Beautiful ball from Acosta. Chicago was trying to get going in transition, could not. It was cut away. And Gulo back to Wobodo. Over to the near side, Acosta is there. Kubo was calling for it, didn't get it. Lucho going to take on a defender, gets around him. It goes to Kiwi, then Kubo can't find the ball. Cleared into the FC Cincinnati dugout.
A well-lost effort that came from the corner kick. It was a great set piece as well. Kubo had found himself just at the top of the D alone. It was an intentional play. The two runners kind of dragged the nearest two defenders, opened up the space. Acosta pinged that ball, but waist height, and Kubo just wrapped it. And actually had really good contact as he volleyed it. Just took the deflection.
And Gulo battling in the midfield. It comes back to Mosquera. Over to Barrial on the near side. And Gulo to Powell. Over to Gaddis. Sevis chance standing in his face. Wobodo and Gulo into the center circle, Miazga. To the right side, Gaddis. Kubo. Now Ordonez. Just at the halfway point of the first half, we remain scoreless between Chicago and Cincinnati. Mosquera and Acosta, they played to a 3-3 draw on a freezing cold night at Soldier Field back on March 18th. Cincinnati scored twice in the final 10 minutes of that match. Lucho didn't start, but came on and was a big part of the success in getting that draw. Acosta, a touch to Barrial, goes back to Acosta. Three defenders on Lucho. Can he do anything with it? It'll go to the end line, and he did. He created a corner out of it.
Yeah. I think, look, we're 23 minutes into the game, and I said after 15 we'll have a good understanding of how this game's going to go. So far, I think in possession, FC Cincinnati have looked good, they've looked sharp. The biggest thing that's missing right now is just how they attack without those two natural centre forwards, and it's pretty obvious. So they've got to get creative, they've got to try to figure out times, and set pieces obviously is a big chance.
Here's Acosta on the corner kick to the far post. It spills out. Richie plucked it from the air but wasn't able to hold on. And then somehow, some way, he got his fingertips back on it. But that ball was curling towards the goal.
We had Mosquera that was just in front of the goalkeeper. And Acosta, again, just unbelievable service. Just a fine. Just went over Mosquera's head and right in front of Richie. It made it very difficult for the goalkeeper to come and collect.
He, of course, scored on an Olympico a couple weeks ago from that same corner flag. However, that ball was driven a little bit shorter. Mosquera steps in to win the ball towards the attacking third. And Mosquera was trying to draw a foul, won't get it. Gutierrez the other way. Taps it off for Aceves. Shabilko, Gutierrez, and over to Herbers. Fabian Herbers into the final third, right at the corner of the 18. Jairo Torres trying to get towards the goal. What a tackle there by Obina Wobodo. Cincinnati looking up, trying to find numbers. Wobodo in the center circle towards Ordonez. And Almsberg found it first. Shabilko, the left side. Sevis, 22-year-old. Chuka youth. Herbers on the right. Just into the final third. Ariel there defensively. On the foot of Suke. Mosquera trying to knock it away, and Yerson wins the ball. Gets it back to Barrial. Cincinnati pinned in their defensive third. Barrial will send it towards Ordonez. Herbers got it back, and a foul was whistled there on Kiwi.
A high kick. Just smiling watching Mosquera play. It's such a joy to watch him kind of grow. think every game he just becomes a little bit more comfortable.
Of course, he is on loan from Wolverhampton, and you're back in England watching him. You're certainly happy with what he has done for FC Cincinnati. That loan originally through the summer window, and no official word yet on whether or not it'll be extended. Certainly the hope here in the Queen City is that it will be. Omsberg. Puts it to Torres, and now back to Wyatt Omsberg. Omsberg to his left. Kendall Burks is there just across midfield. Tutsias. As Gutierrez. Gutierrez has been strong so far this year. Herbert into the 18, nearly fell to Gutierrez. Gutierrez took down Mascara, will be called for the foul. But that was a dangerous ball into the penalty area, and Gutierrez wasn't able to make anything of. Chicago does not have a shot in this match. FC Cincinnati had 3, but none of those 3 have been on target. So as we approach the half-hour mark, neither goalkeeper has had to make a save yet. Mascara back up onto his feet. Slides it to Wobodo. Kubo, Gaddis, back for Kubo on the right side. Kubo into the final third, just outside of the 18, was trying to send it towards Keeney. He picked up a deflection from Aceves, and another corner kick coming for FC Cincinnati. This will be the first one from the far side.
I think the simple kind of play for Bad Noonan, if he can in the second half, is the change and bring his forwards on. I think you win this game comfortably because you're getting into positions where you can set them up. It's just then leaving that position where Kubo's on the right hand side. He looked up. He doesn't have the normal targets that he's looking for.
This will be Alvaro Barrial's corner kick. He leads the team this season with 5 assists. The Argentine with his left foot swings it into the box. Mascara can't get to it. Kubo trying to follow. Finds it at the edge of the 18, but he'll be whistled for a foul, colliding with Brian Gutierrez. And Kubo tapped the ball away to let the center backs get back. And Chris Petzo with a quick word for you, Kubo. Oh, no. Gutierrez and Kubo kind of had their arms locked with each other.
I think he had body position on the ball. I thought it was a good first touch. I didn't see much in it. You heard the Billy react to.
They saw the replay on the big board, as we saw it in our booth as well. It seemed to be a fair challenge. Gutierrez in the center circle, turns forward, has a step on Angulo. Marco tracked him down and took it off his foot. Gutierrez down, grabbing his ankle. Miazga's going to try to get things going in transition for the orange and blue. Acosta has Ordonez to his left. Lucho sliding it into the penalty area. Kubo was sliding across the 6. He wasn't far behind it, maybe a step. That would have been spectacular, but great vision from Lucho.
That was great just to see Acosta again dribble through. He took the ball about 20 yards, and he saw Kubo. He had the vision to know that Kubo was cutting across diagonally. He laid it in front, and Kubo, like you mentioned, was probably a foot away from getting on the end of that and scoring. The fans again appreciated kind of the vision from Acosta. So many times we've seen that, Tommy, where he just opens up defenses with those killer passes.
Herbers, Gutierrez, and back to Suke. Lucho's been on fire now, leads the team with 6 goals, has 3 assists as well. Wobodo putting on the pressure. Jairo Torres got away from him for a moment, then the foul will be whistled as Obi was trying on the second effort to win it back. Of course, Obi missed the match on Wednesday night against New York City after picking up his 5th yellow card of the season at Colorado, so his legs are fresh for this one. Half an hour gone at TQL Stadium on what's turned out to be a pretty beautiful night. 0-0 in the 10th MLS meeting between FC Cincinnati and the Chicago Fire. Free kick will come from the far side, and Chicago is going to push their center backs forward, albeit late here. Aceves and Jairo Torres over there. Torres will walk away. Sevis will send it into the penalty area. Roman Celentano right at the corner of the 6, reaches up into the sky and pulls it down. No trouble for the product of Indiana University. Barrial looking up. As Acosta drifting to the right side, but Sevis stepped in the way to head the ball down to Torres. Jairo Torres, just his 3rd start of the year, 22 years of age. Gutierrez's ball doesn't connect with Shapilko. Miazga stepped in front of it. Ordonez across midfield. Amy Ordonez starting in an MLS game here at TQL Stadium for the first time. Shapilko with some space on the right side as Mosquera got caught up the pitch. Sent across the middle. Gutierrez was there and awkwardly skipped off his foot and then took a touch off FC Cincinnati to the far side. It'll be a throw-in for Chicago, but Gutierrez and Kutsias were both there as Shapilko sent that ball towards the penalty area.
That came from just Ordonez not able to kind of read and understand the pressure put back to Mosquera, put him under a bit of a difficult situation.
Suke. Herberts. Pressure from Barrial. Back to Federico Navarro. 23-year-old Argentine. Signed with Chicago back in 2021. These are in the summer window, so this is his 2nd full season in Major League Soccer. Gutierrez has Torres over to the right side. Herberts, loads of space into the 18. Looking for a pass, sends it into the box, comes off the paw of Celentano. Then Mosquera with some contact from Jairo Torres as he won the header. And that foul will be whistled at the corner of the 18.
Well, that's always the danger, I think. If you can't convert, I talked about possession, so I think FC Cincinnati had control over it, but if you allow the Chicago team to kind of grow into the game, they're going to have some chances, and that was a big chance. They broke, the ball was played across as you reacted, or you talked about Ruben Celentano's reaction. Stuck his forearm out just to kind of save it.
Technically more of a cross, so Chicago still doesn't have a shot in this match.
Yep.
But you're right, he kind of just put his paw out there to knock the ball away. Costa got around Gutierrez, then he was held up. Cincinnati will be given the advantage. I think Lucho wanted the free kick, then he'll be taken down by Navarro, and they're going to bring it all the way back here.
I think he's just looking to see if there was advantage played. Or...
Well, he had signaled it initially, so I thought he was giving it, and then...
Oh, there's 2 fouls, right?
Certainly seemed that way, but he's signaling that the ball's going to go all the way back to the first one, much to the chagrin of both Acosta and Barrial. Alvaro will be left to take the free kick, and they will push the center backs forward. It's a long free kick, about 45 yards away, in front of FC Cincinnati's dugout. Barrial will put his left foot in the ball, swings it into the 18. Mosquera headed it on towards the far post, but nobody was there to do anything with it. And a goal kick coming for Spencer Ritchie. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, whether you are doing it on ESPN 1530. Of course, you can switch on Apple TV. Click on the audio signal down on the right-hand corner and switching over to the home radio broadcast, where we're also on Sirius XM 157 tonight. So, big audience for the broadcast wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in. And Miazga will play the ball that Chicago loses in the midfield back to Celentano, then gets it back from Roman. 10 minutes with stoppage time remaining in a scoreless first half. Miazga looking up to his left, trying to feed it to Barrial. It's headed down in the direction of Spencer Ritchie. Wearing the captain's armband tonight, the Seattle, Washington native, his 34th MLS start. Kubo not able to pick up the ball in the midfield. Spencer, much like Alec Can has done for FC Cincinnati, has been the regular U.S. Open Cup goalkeeper for Chicago. I imagine that we will see Alex start on Tuesday night when the Pittsburgh Riverhounds are here. You can get your tickets now at fccincinnati.com. Chance to move on to the semifinals for the second time. Orange and Blue, of course, did it in 2017, where they had the 2-0 lead against New York at Nippert Stadium. Bradley Wright Phillips got to work, and open dreams of an Open Cup final were shattered on that night in September. If FC Cincinnati were to win on Tuesday, the semifinal is not until August, so after the Leagues Cup, that'll take place in late July and early August. Kubo across midfield. On the far side, Ray Gaddis. Marion trying to find Ordonez. Ganot pings out to Angulo. Now Acosta across the box. Kimi swiped at it. Did it come off Chicago? It did. Wide Augsburg touched it last. And FC Cincinnati have their 5th corner kick of the match coming. Another chance just to redirect it in front of the goal. Didn't test Spencer Ritchie. Let's see if they can do it on the corner kick. Acosta will trot to the near side. It'll come to the right of Ritchie, and they'll play it short to Barriol. Barriol into the 18, gets over everybody, headed away. Augsburg found it first. Powell will track back to take the possession in the midfield. And then to Wobodeau in the center circle, who is back in preventative shape. Barriol looking to penetrate, finds Kubo, edge of the 18. His shot is deflected away. Barriol trying to get a shot off, somehow keeps the possession. Barriol all the way to the end line. It stays in. Did it? Yes, it did. And Chicago will clear their defensive third just by driving the ball all the way down the pitch to Roman Celentano.
That was a good chance. Barriol had 2 kind of bites at it. Deflection, came back, and then it's a second opportunity. It just wouldn't fall, so he tried to get back under control. I don't think there's been any doubt. As I mentioned, I think FC Cincinnati have had the better possession. They look in control. They look like they're just missing that last final pass or that last movement.
Foul is going to be whistled on Herbers. Took down Luciano Acosta, who is grabbing his left ankle after the foul. And we have our first booking of the match. Comes in the 38th minute. And Fabian Herbers has his 6th yellow card of the season. A bit clumsy there by Herbers. And a prime spot here for FC Cincinnati, setting up the free kick. Costa, after taking the knock, will wander away. And Alvaro Barriol will take this one. Comes right in front of his head coach, Pat Noonan. FC Cincinnati looking for a first half advantage. The Blue have scored first in 13 of 15 games this season. Barriol sends the ball. It's headed away. Kubo going to track it at the far touchline. And Yerson Mosquera picked up a head injury, fighting for that header, goes down to the pitch, and that means Chris Penso has to immediately stop play. And we'll get Nick Haglund up to warm up a little bit. And the medical staff out there attending to Yerson Mosquera, who's hopefully okay. And actually, they'll have Ian Murphy warm up. Nick Haglund is dressed tonight. They didn't quite feel. They hoped he'd be fit to start after missing the last 2 games. We're seeing a replay now in the booth. There were a lot of heads right there. I think it was Kendall Burks who got a piece of Yerson Mosquera.
He just backed in and in the back of his head hit Mosquera just on the, well, we're looking at his forehead, and I thought it originally hit his chin.
They're putting him through a series of concussion tests.
You see this again, replay.
Actually, he went into the head of a different defender, but either way. Yerson is up on his feet. We'll see if the medical staff clears him. FC Cincinnati will have the possession towards the corner flag when we resume. And Ian Murphy warming up if he needed to come out of the match. Hopefully that's not the case. Now one of the Chicago players has gone down just outside of the 18. That's Kacper Shabilko. Looking at the back of the head, it appears, of Shabilko. He may have a wound. So I think it was Shabilko who ended up making the contact with Mosquera. Mosquera continuing to undergo some testing along the FC Cincinnati sideline to make sure he's okay to return. Shabilko is down. We have a monitor in our booth. You can see they're trying to stop the bleeding on the left side of his head. Right now, 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in the half. Here's they've been able to do enough. We're getting another replay. And it was Kacper Shabilko and Yerson Mosquera who collided. Yeah, the front of the face of Mosquera on the, you think it was his tooth? They called him?
I think that's probably why he's bleeding.
So this certainly will add on a fair bit of stoppage time as Shabilko is going to be sent to the near touchline, so he's going to have to come out of the match as well, since Mosquera did. We have 3 minutes remaining on the clock in the half, and now probably a handful of added time coming. Shabilko and Mosquera will stand together with the fourth official and await the signal from the match official to bring him back in. And Cincinnati will have the possession on the far side with Gaddis. Inside of the final third, it'll be given back to Woboda. Both players will be released and both teams are back at full strength. Marial has Shabilko on and somehow got away from it, then sends it into the 18. It's headed down right to Ray Gaddis. Gaddis turning, trying to get a shot, and ends up sending it up into the Bailey. Didn't get a good look off.
You saw what I saw.
Yeah.
As Shabilko came on, he was coming on from behind Marial. Marial had no clue that he was coming back on, so I didn't see him. Kind of nonchalantly took a touch, just kind of evaded Shabilko, and if he had gotten a touch, it would have been a different story because Chicago had two players to run at their back to Mosquera. So close call for FC Cincinnati.
It honestly felt like a hockey game when a player gets released from the penalty box and you don't know that he's about to pop out of the penalty box and end up in your face mask. Well, Shabilko, a large player, was right there, and you're right. Marial took just enough touch to skip around him. Ritchie will have a goal kick and send it across midfield. Mosquera fighting for the header with Shabilko. Shabilko is going to be whistled for a foul, just laid his shoulder into Yerson.
That's those guys going out again.
Shocking to see Yerson mixing it up with a center forward, right? Mosquera looking up, had Acosta trying to make a run to the left and hit the ball, couldn't connect. Another goal kick for Ritchie. Chicago still without a shot here in the first half. Cincinnati has 7, but none of them have been on target. Possession 60-40 in favor of the orange and blue. Ritchie will put his hand in the air and set to play it long. Everybody's drifted out into the midfield. Ritchie with his right foot across the midfield stripe. Mosquera and Shabilko were both there. Miazga ends up winning the ball. Then it gets to Herbers and Shabilko. Herbers into the 18. It was behind Gutierrez, but Chicago had numbers. Barrial looks up, finds Angulo. Cincinnati trying to get forward as Kubo finds a Costa on the near side. Into the middle, Angulo will have a little bit of room to work. Angulo onto the goal, turns and takes a shot, leaned back into it, sends it up into the Bailey.
It's just a little disappointing because it was a good movement, a flowing movement to find Angulo in space. He's about 25 yards out before he hits it. He just leans back and he had even more space. He could have attacked and draw a defender out and try to play in Kimi Ordonez. Instead, just kind of hits that ball, and it's a little bit disappointing because it was a good chance. It was a good opportunity.
We are into first half stoppage time and a minimum of 3 minutes to be tacked on as Ritchie will take the goal kick to the left. Across midfield towards Shabilko and Mascara, who tangle once again. Pops out to Elvis Powell. Almsberg, I should say. Wobodo not able to win the ball. Herbers. Into the middle as Jairo Torres. Ordonez did really well to win the ball for Cincinnati. And Gulo has it in the center circle, but nowhere to go. He looked up and all he saw was white kids. And wisely pulled it back to let FC Cincinnati settle in the midfield. Two Argentines, Barrial and Acosta, will work on the near side. Off to Wobodo. Cincinnati finds something late in the half. Kubo looking for a shot, turns and fires, and this was well wide. Cincinnati has tried a few on from distance, but not able to test Richie. So another goal kick for the Seattle native. Richie will again send everybody out into the midfield. Richie with his right foot up the near side. Towards Herbers, heads it on. Gutierrez closing in. Miazga is going to be there to battle with him. Gutierrez gets a touch, and Miazga just holds him off enough, but taps it out on the touchline. And Chicago inside of the attacking third will have a throw-in late in the half. Suke will tell Herbers to hold off and charge forward for a long throw-in. Let's see if they try to fire it into the penalty area. It appears that'll be the plan. Frenchman will step back as far as he can from the touch. Suke on the throw towards Shabilko, headed away Mascara, pops out to Torres. Back to Suke. Looking for a cross, pings it off Barrial, and a corner kick coming late in the half for the visitors. Chicago have taken a lead into the locker room at the half in 7 of their 15 games this year. Probably only 30 seconds left here, so this could be the last attacking chance for either side. Aceves strikes the ball with his left foot across the penalty area, punched away Celentano. It'll go towards the far corner. Barrial trying to keep it in, cannot. Now another corner coming for Chicago. It'll be their third of the match. And it'll certainly be the last action of the first half. Jairo Torres, 22-year-old Mexican, will go to the corner flag and take it. Aceves is there as well. Torres with his right foot curls the ball in towards the goal. Celentano swats it away. And we have a halftime whistle at TQL Stadium, the orange and blue. And the Chicago Fire will head into their respective dressing rooms, scoreless at the half. Head coach Pat Noonan has the headset on. Coach, it felt like your team had the better of the possession through the first 45 minutes. 7 shots, but did not test Spencer Richie. What do you make of the first half?
Yeah, better with the possession, but not a lot of ideas about how we're getting into the box and creating chances. You know, they're organized and they're defended deep, so
Antimus. Out wide yet again. Here come the Union with Ua trying to play that for the Gazdag inside the area. Plays it back to Harriel. Getting set to cross into the back post. Nobody home, but the ball stays in play here for the Union. Over to Real. Outside the area, we'll find Julian Carranza at the tip of the 18. Dashes inside with us. Right, tries to go right and goal and scores! Julian Carranza gets the scoring started for the Union at home. And it's 1-0. The boys in blue.
It ends up being a really nice curling finish from Carranza, and that's the highlight reel part of it. I love the bit before it. All the build-up, the tic-tac-toe passing to get to Harry on the right. Yes, he overhit his cross, but Real instantly spotted a teammate in a dangerous position, found him. Carranza did the rest.
Yeah, thanks to the play. As you mentioned, the two guys who I thought had great first halves, and Matt Real and Nathan Harriel, as Carranza beat Duke, curled that into the back post, as Jonathan stated, 1-0 Union. But there was an opportunity a little bit later on in the 30th minute by Lapalainen. And who else? Andre Blake had to stand tall yet again. Omni playing this forward over to Ibrahim inside the penalty area, back to Lapalainen. Now comes Andre Blake, who's a brick wall and steers it aside. Brick wall Blake stands tall again, coming out from his six to deny Lapalainen.
It was the most mobile flying brick wall I've ever seen, because Andre Blake came out, stretched all akimbo to try and knock that one down, and he did get a piece of it. Maybe it was his chest, underarm, I don't know, but the Union are very grateful that he did, because the game completely changes if that goes in.
Also made another stop later on, but the 36th minute, another goal for the Philadelphia Union. It came from Carranza, who tried to cross one in with his toe off the tip of his boot, went off of Thorkelson and Pantemis, and then it was Michael Lua, right place, right time, for the club's second tally tonight. So poking forward, Carranza will find Matt Real in front of the 18, try to cross it, and went off of Saliba, right to Nate Harriel, who dummied that forward over to Carranza inside the area, turns it on Torkelson, almost a right at goal, and the rebound good for Michael Lua! Went off of Pantelis, and Michael Lua snaps goalless in 8 games across all competitions. There's number 6 for Ua, and it's 2-0 Union.
This all started from a bad Montreal giveaway. They are not playing their starters. They're resting them.
Had success over the last 13 plus years. The Red Bull Arena has been around. Unfortunately, not the start that they wanted in terms of giving up the goal in the 18th minute, but overall getting a little bit better as the game progresses. Second key is the great return. Big names came off injury list and onto the pitch in the last week. That included guys like Lewis Morgan. We'd expect him to step on the second half and be involved in this lineup as well at some point. Defenders Frankie Amaya, Kyle Duncan, other players that have been injured for a while now getting some minutes. So we'll see if they factor into the second half. Third key is the streaks, are they broken? For Orlando City, streaks are at stake heading into the next game against this New York team. The Lions are riding a 4-game unbeaten streak, and that's a 3-game streak over this Red Bull team. Hopefully we'll figure out a way to finish this off a little bit better in the final third. You know, you look at our run of play, and it looks like there's a little bit of gaps between our sixes and our front runners, but as long as we can get guys in like Lakinas involved in the game, I think that's going to open up the game a little bit better for our final third.
We'll keep you updated on potential changes from one half to the next. We throw into our halftime feature right now with Orlando City leading 1-0. Radio voice of the Lions, Evan Weston.
Game 1 to Game 17, the first half of the season comes to a close tonight for the New York Red Bulls. Evan Weston, the radio voice for Orlando City. Evan, these teams played all the way back in February. A lot has changed, obviously, for both. Give me a little bit of a first half season review for Orlando City, if you could.
Yeah, it's been a little up and down. There was a big offseason for Orlando. They made a lot of moves. I remember when we talked in February, we talked about how high the expectations were for Orlando City. I think it's safe to say that they haven't quite met those at this point in the year. This is only game 15 for Orlando, so they have a little bit more time. But over the last few games, it looks like things have started to click a little bit. It seems like Oscar Pareja has found a mix of players that he likes. He's got his striker, Archankara, in really good form at the moment. They've kind of made some adjustments in the middle of the field as well. And so they're starting to find that formula that's going to work for them. I thought they played their best game of the year last week against Atlanta. They were dominant, really played Atlanta off the park, just couldn't get that second goal. Brad Guzan made a couple of really great saves. They missed some chances, and then Atlanta got a lucky one on a corner at the end, so it ended in a draw. But they really should be 2 wins in a row for them, and honestly 3. I mean, they were better than NYCFC the game prior to that too. So they are getting closer. Now, of course, a Red Bull away game is always going to be a little bit different than most games, so you understand that. But and of course, Red Bulls are entirely different. Coach, personnel, all that since we saw them last. So probably not a whole lot you can take away from that first meeting, but it looks like it's starting to come together a little bit for Orlando. Whether that means they take that jump to MLS Cup contention, like we maybe talked about, or whether they're just solid playoff team, that's still to be determined.
Yeah, walk me through, Evan, if you can. I'm looking at results from the last 4 league games: draw against Columbus, draw with NYCFC. As you mentioned, good performance in a draw with Atlanta, and then a 3-1 win over Miami a couple weeks ago. Red Bull just saw Inter Miami on Wednesday. What has maybe changed from the up and down yo-yo to the last 4 games, making sure they at least get a point?
Yeah, they've made a couple of adjustments. Wilder Cartagena, as a Peruvian midfielder, has come in to form a partnership with Cesar Araujo, who is one of the most talented young defensive midfielders in the league. And so that has enabled them to have a little bit more freedom for their fullbacks to get forward. In Oscar's system, typically the left back will stay back and kind of be a back 3 with the ball. That is not really how Rafael Santos likes to play. So he had not been in the lineup because it just wasn't fitting what was being asked of the system. Now with Wilder in there, that's allowed Rafael Santos to get forward a lot more. He scored a great goal against Miami a few weeks ago. He's an excellent crosser of the ball. So that just gives them another option, because right now it's a little bit like the Red Bulls, although maybe not quite to that level where they just need to score goals. They need to find ways to score goals, and so that's happened. And then the other thing is that you mentioned I mentioned it earlier, Ercan Kara, a guy who had a decent first year. He scored 12 goals, but as a DP, you'd want that number to be maybe closer to 18, 20. He has come back from injury in the past few weeks and really hit his stride. Lost a 3-game streak with a goal last week against Atlanta, but even in that game, he was really great. Hold up play, gave Atlanta a lot of problems at the back. So he's a guy that you're going to have to watch out for, that is in form and confident. And then his reserve, Duncan McGuire, is a rookie out of Creighton who has 4 goals already this year and has been a real bright spot too. That's a sub that has been made regularly over the past several games. So there is a little bit of personnel tweaks. Mauricio Pereira getting healthy certainly doesn't hurt. And we'll see if it can continue. But right now it does seem like there's starting to be that those puzzle pieces are starting to come together a little bit.
I think, and Evan, we can finish with this one, a Red Bull team that I, started with. This marks the end of the first half of the season, and it's been such an up and down year, stabilized as of late. They win this game today. I say they, meaning New York. They win this game today, the opportunity to move above the playoff line, which I think for this team would be a really big thing going into the international break. For Orlando, you had mentioned a couple of games in hand. This is just their 15th. They had the schedule congestion at the beginning part of the season with Champions League and things like that. Has Orlando gotten maybe to the same point as New York where, okay, you're going from one half of the season to the next, where you're really now starting to focus on where you are in the table in the East?
Maybe the very start of that. The thing is that Orlando really hasn't been below the playoff line all year. They really haven't been since Oscar Pareja took over the team. It's funny. They have slumped late in seasons and had to win on the last day to get in each of the last 2 years. But it was never really in doubt until then that they would make it. It's funny that they just – I don't think making the playoffs is enough for this team. The expectations are higher than that. Right now they're 9th, but again, they have 2 games in hand. They're higher than that in points per game. I think they're 6th or so in points per game. They're also the best road team in MLS. They have 3 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 loss on the road. Playing on the road tends to suit them. They're at their best in transition. And so we'll see. I know Red Bulls has tried to keep the ball a little bit more since moving on from Struber. So we'll see if that kind of plays into Orlando's hands. But Yeah, I think, this is a big month coming up. They've got this game. They've got a very winnable home game next week against Colorado that they really need to win. And then you look forward, they've got New England coming up after that on the road, which is a tough game, tough place to play. So I think, that they want to be in that top four. This improvement is going to have to keep tracking linear, up for them to get where they are. They still have not gotten to a place with their new DP, Martin Ojeda, where he's starting consistently and feeling good. His counting stats are good, but the performances are not quite consistent enough. So there's definitely room for improvement there with Orlando. We'll see what they do in the summer, but this is a big month of June coming up. Absolutely.
Evan, appreciate you hopping on. It's always fun when these teams get together because the styles are so very different. We'll see how tonight plays out. Appreciate your time as always and look forward to catching up, my friend.
Absolutely, Matt.
Wendy's home-style French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Red Bull fans, we've partnered with Affinity Federal Credit Union to bring you the first ever New York Red Bulls credit card. The RBNY card let you earn points to redeem for team merchandise, exclusive experiences, and more. Earn triple points when using it at Red Bull Arena, on Red members, and all sporting good purchases. Make sure you sign up today. Your club, more reward.
The Honda Civic and the Accord are uniquely stylish in their own way. But do you know what they have in common? Reliability and comfort? Sure. Available turbocharged engines? Of course. But also the driver, having fun for no reason, except for the thrill of driving a Honda. Named 2023 Best Overall Brand by Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com.
Based on 2023 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
NJIT has been making student success stories since 1881 and has the rankings to show for it. Nationally, Forbes.com ranks NJIT number 1 for student upward economic mobility. U.S. News & World Report recognizes NJIT as one of America's top 50 public universities. And on the international front, Newsweek and Make Magazine call NJIT one of the top maker schools in the world. What will you make at NJIT? Learn more at njit.edu.
Provident Bank believes commitment isn't something you say, it's something you do. That's why they back it up day in and day out. In checking accounts with better rewards, with lenders that understand your business needs, and by supporting teams with the most committed fans. That's why Provident Bank is proud to be the official banking partner of the New York Red Bulls and unofficially the most committed bank in the world. Learn more at provident.bank.
Congrats on the new house, honey.
What's this? Carbon monoxide detectors?
Yeah, but one on every level.
Because you can't see or smell carbon monoxide.
And when fuel-burning appliances aren't working right, CO can build up and be deadly.
Guys, I'm on it.
We just want to know you're safe.
At PSE&G, we're committed to your family's safety. Know how to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. If your CO detector goes off, leave immediately. Then call 911. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
Scoreboard time in Major League Soccer as Orlando leads New York on the back of an Ivan Angulo first half goal, 1-0. Finals from earlier today, NYCFC New England in a scoreless draw.
Ariel giving chase to the end line, not able to get to the ball. Spencer Ritchie. They'll have a goal kick. No, he came on for stats. In our stats platform, they said he's in for Kacper Shabilko. And it does look like Shabilko is out of the game, so you're right. All right.
That was easy.
Yeah, see? Just a little bit of research. There's Torres. Aceves on the near side. Just have to draw an arrow on my chart here. So Shabilko out after a half. Swung in towards the box. Headed away by Powell. Kubo through the center circle. 3-on-4 for Cincinnati. Trying to thread the needle and find Ordonez to his right. Didn't get there. Costa was to his left. You can see his frustration as the opportunity for Cincinnati comes up empty early in the second half. Switched over to the near side. Ray Gaddis will chop it out of the air with Shabilko coming out. Kutsias will slide into the middle of the pitch as that central forward. Of course, Kai Kamara on the bench tonight. But I think Frank Klopas showing intent to keep Shabilko fresh for Tuesday night. Of course, this is the third match in 8 days as well for Chicago. And for Chicago, all three of these matches have been on the road. They were in Toronto on Wednesday. Through the midfield, it's Gutierrez trying to get around Angulo. Sent into the box towards Kutsias. He tried to sneak it past Spencer Ritchie, could not. Miazga was there defensively, took the touch that pushed it out. And Chicago will have a corner kick, their fourth of the match.
That was a good chance for Chicago. Casillas just got in front of Matt Miazga, in between Matt Miazga and Roman Celentano. They're causing a deflection for the corner kick.
Jairo Torres on the far side. Gaston Jimenez will go over and be there for the corner as well. It'll come in the 50th minute. Scoreless in the Queen City. Here's it. Jimenez will take it. He will play it short to Torres. Torres back to Jimenez. Jimenez on the cross, knocked away Wobodo. Chicago will have a throw-in. Suke will come over to take it. Chicago in the starting lineup had 7 changes from that scoreless draw at Toronto on Wednesday. The ball is lost by Chicago and out on the end line, so a goal kick coming for Celentano. It's a bit of a strange stretch for Chicago. I mentioned 3 straight on the road. They are home for their next league game, and then they play 3 more in a row on the road. So they'll end up with 6 of 7 in league play on the road. They are home for the Open Cup quarterfinal on Tuesday. And they take on Houston. And if these teams were to see each other again, it would be in the U.S. Open Cup final. They're on opposite sides of the bracket, or it would have to be in the postseason. I suppose it can come in Leagues Cup as well. We have all these different competitions now over the course of 2023. FC Cincinnati will play Sporting Kansas City and Chivas here at TQL Stadium. You can get tickets for both those matches and all the remaining home matches at FCCincinnati.com. Heavy pressure from Chicago. Marco Angulo does get away from it. They may have been fouled. A little bit of a tug on Angulo. Then Ordonez does well in the midfield to keep the possession. Powell with some room up the right side. He will push forward. Powell into the attack. Goes right around a defender. Powell, edge of the 18. Looking for a shot with his left foot. Looked like it caught a hand. Gaddis slides it across the penalty area. Ordonez is there. His shot goes just wide. Kimi Ordonez had a perfect look at what could have been his first in Major League Soccer. He didn't put it on frame, and it was all set up by Elvis Powell.
Yeah, Elvis Powell did great just to drive through. Great balance, and he came in. It looked like it was a deflection of a possible hand, but the ball was played back in by Gaddis. It was a deflection that came back out. So Kimi Ordonez, he's just not able to turn his body. That was such a good chance.
I think that ball that you saw, you thought it was a handball right away, came off the backside of Almsberg, but there was an arm out of a different player that it looked like it went by. Play is not being held up, so no concern from the VAR. Pressure from Acosta. Has Ordonez inside of the 18. Takes a shot. It deflects up into the air and up over the frame. Another look for Kimi, who's been active since coming out of the dressing room. And a corner kick coming here for the orange and blue.
Kimi's been a little sharper in the second half. But last play, even the play that he eventually missed, he was involved very early in the stages to build out where he came and he checked from Anguilla. Great pressure. It was a great, really, team effort. And the whole started from the defensive third. Roman Celentano had played into Angulo. He broke the pressure. Now we have a corner kick for FC Cincinnati.
It'll come from Barrial as the fans come to their feet here in the Queen City. Barrial on the near side to the left of Spencer Ritchie. Spencer's had enough of a couple guys inside of the 18 where there was some pushing and shoving, and Miazga and who is it? Suke will be called out for a very quick conversation. Acosta stands at the corner of the 18, so Barrial will serve it up, sends it into the 18, and a foul was whistled on Marco Angulo before the ball even got there. And now someone's getting a booking for dissent. It's going to be Matt Miazga, who threw his hands in the air. So Miazga picks up his 4th yellow card of the season. The concern there is now he goes on to yellow card watch for a potential suspension upon his 5th. First booking of the match on FC Cincinnati. Miazga wasn't happy about it. We just showed a replay on our monitor, but I didn't catch the contact as Herbers and Angulo got tangled up. Spencer Ritchie will put the ball back into play after all that. So nothing on the corner for the orange and blue. Spezzo was watching that penalty area like a hawk. Ritchie took a heavy touch. Kubo, his former teammate, tried to close in and do something with it, could not. Ball out towards the midfield. Miazga heads it down. On to Barrial. And Gulo. And now Wobodo. Powell across midfield. Gaddis. To Wobodo. Wobodo to his left. Finds Mascara. Barrial making the run towards the corner flag. Barrial with Herbers in his face. Draws it back. Mascara. Now Wobodo to Angulo inside of the center circle. 55th minute, we are scoreless. Angulo not able to connect with Ordonez. Tried to get it forward. Kendall Burke stepped in the way. Burks to Almsberg. Now Suke. Gaddis was trying to get it away from Suke, who be whistled for the foul. His hand came up and caught the face of Aceves on the near side. And Aceves will put it back into play to Almsberg. Over to the right. Suke will fire forward across midfield. Suke. Into the middle, Herbers. Back to Gaston Jimenez. Fresh off the bench here in the second half. Sent into the box at the far post. Chicago asking for a penalty. There was some contact there between Barrial. And was it Gutierrez making the run there? That was Herbers. And now Pat Noonan is going to get his substitutions ready. And Junior Moreno, Dom Baji, Brandon Vasquez, all regular starters coming on to the match.
I think we expected this.
Yep. And a half-hour shift.
If FC Cincinnati didn't score early,
yep,
we would expect these changes 56 minutes in. I think the game's obviously there to be won, and a chance to rest some guys and rotate, but I think you're going to go and make these changes and go for it.
Barrial with a great move. It looked like he had Chicago beat, but then Jairo Torres came over to help. Herbers gets it around into the penalty area, drawn back. Barrial got there to take it off the foot of Suke. Then Alvaro out towards the midfield. Acosta was waiting for it. It was deflected away in the direction of Ordonez, not able to get to the ball. Sent into the penalty area. It gets around everybody and will slowly trickle towards the far touchline.
Chicago's going to make changes too. Looks like Shaqiri's getting his jersey on.
Kai Kamara as well.
That's what we expected.
And Elvis Powell Powell will come over to take the throw-in. Yeah, so a little bit of a chess match right now between the two gaffers. We'll see exactly who's coming off momentarily. Kubo trying to head it on, then it comes off of Kubo right in front of FC Cincinnati's dugout, where everybody's huddled up with Vasquez, Moreno, and Paggi, who will now make their way towards the fourth official. And the first move in this chess match will be made by Pat Noonan with 3 substitutions and 1 opportunity. Sevis into the midfield. It's misplayed to Wobodo. Obi looking to the right side. Finds Kubo. Gaddis is there along with him. Back to Wobodo. Wobodo with a man on. Kutsias came over and took it off his foot. Obi didn't know he was making the run in. Over to the right side, Herberts. Chicago working their way across midfield as we approach the 1 hour mark. Herbers. Looking to his left, has Aceves. Back to Torres. Torres trying to send it into the 18. Cannot. Aceves. Jimenez. And now Navarro. Federico Navarro. Over to the left, Torres. Gaddis had a step and found the ball. Kubo looking up. Acosta making a run. It'll be 1-on-2 if Acosta can get to the ball. It's deflected away for the moment. Then a back heel from Kubo, or from Acosta doesn't find Kubo. Ordonez not able to get to the ball. Chicago takes the possession in the midfield. It's almost a beautiful pass. Cias, who subscribes to the Ray Gaddis kit fashion school with the tucked-in jersey. Navarro, Suke. Back to Navarro in the midfield. We are an hour in, and Chicago still does not have a shot in this match. Ariel read the pass perfectly, taps it out to the far touchline, and that'll allow for the substitutions here for Pat Noonan. It'll be Marco Angulo to come off for Junior Moreno. Not surprising there. Yuya Kubo will make way for Brandon Vasquez. And it'll probably be Kimi Ordonez coming off for Don Paggi, which will push that attacking trio, and that is how it'll be into its natural formation with Don Paggi and Brandon Vasquez up top. And Lucho Acosta sliding back to his central attacking midfield position. So Ordonez, Angulo, and Kubo come off after an hour. And here come 3 substitutions for Chicago as well. It'll be Kai Kamara, Marin Haile Selassie, and Jerdan Shaqiri, the 3 subs for Frank Klopas. He will wait until the next stoppage as Chicago sets for a throw-in on the far side. Throw-in is deflected in the direction of Vasquez, not able to pick it up. He wanted a foul, whistled, won't get it. Pat Noonan can't believe it. Elvis Powell trying to get to the ball, cannot. Aceves. Torres with a bit of a heavy touch, loses it on the near side, tapped away by Powell. Now the substitutions will come for Chicago. Cias will make way for Kamara. Gutierrez for Shaqiri. And Federico Navarro comes off, which will open up the path for Marin Haile Selassie. Throwing on the near side. Aceves for Chicago. So 3 subs for each manager, all at the same time, and with just under a half an hour to go, game on in a scoreless match. Torres towards the corner flag with Ray Gaddis over his back. Could it come off of Ray Gaddis? Throw in for Chicago, deep inside of their attacking third. Aceves on the throw-in as Shaqiri. Back to Aceves. Aceves crossing into the 18, knocked away. And out off Chicago, Cincinnati will have the throw-in. See how quickly the substitutions can influence the match.
I think it's going to completely change the game. I think the tempo, I think really open it up so you've got attacking changes for both sides. So I expect this to open up pretty broadly.
Mario on to Vasquez right in midfield. Acosta. Cincinnati now with their natural center forwards in the match. First time off the bench this season for Brandon Vasquez, who had started the previous 15 Major League Soccer matches. We'll roll into the 64th minute. Mascara back to Miazga. Over to Powell. Right in the center circle. Mascara looking up towards Vasquez. In a foot race with Wyatt Omsberg, and the ball just overhit. Vasquez with a little bump for Wyatt Omsberg right at the end line. A signal at a goal kick, so no foul on Brandon Vasquez, but Chris Penso, I think, yeah, it will be a goal kick. Chris Penso's going to have a quick conversation with Brandon. A little bit extracurricular, just saying, hey, I'm here. Good to see you. Last year when these two played here at TQL Stadium, there were 5 goals. Chicago, of course, won 3-2. John Duran had a brace in that match. The matchup on March 18th, when it was freezing at Soldier Field, ended in a 3-3 draw. So there's been 11 goals in the 2 previous matches, none through 64 minutes so far here tonight. Torres in the midfield. Wobodo giving chase. Jimenez to Aceves. Burks. Omsberg. Into the middle, Jimenez. Played back to Ritchie. Costa will put pressure on the goalkeeper as Ritchie looks up and left foots it forward. Headed on by Kai Kamara with loads of MLS experience in number 23. This is his 404th MLS appearance and 143 goals on those legs. He was actually suspended for the match back in March and received a red card in the previous game. Salentano for Miazga. Gaddis. Moreno. Knocked away from Acosta. Kendall Burks got the touch. Cincinnati will have a throw-in on the near side with Gaddis. Powell into the middle, Miazga. 25 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here at TQL Stadium. Tom Glider, Kevin McCluskey, our on-site engineer Dave Abbott. Happy to be with you tonight. 9th home match for FC Cincinnati. The first 16 league games. Here's Acosta on the ball for Moreno. Acosta to the corner of the 18. Defender was sneaking up from behind, and Alonso Aceves got there to knock it away. Lucho had no idea he was coming in. Miazga will collide with Kai Kamara. Matt will be whistled for the foul. Has to be careful. He's on a yellow. He sent Kamara flying into the midfield camera. There's the padding there around it. Kamara is still down, asking why there was not a yellow card. You can hear him on the crowd mics. You can hear a little bit of the conversation there between Chris Penso and Kai Kamara. Kai pleading that he was turning on the ball. Shaqiri complaining to Chris Penso now. There was not a card. That would have been a second yellow on Matt Miazga, and Kai Kamara and Matt Miazga now chirping at each other a bit. Matt not one to shy away from a conversation with an opponent. Shaqiri, fresh into the match, just got a yellow for dissent. Apparently Chris Penso wasn't buying what he was selling. So after all that, there is a yellow card.
I will say this, though. That was a close call.
I agree.
I could definitely see that being a yellow card.
Spencer may have given Matt Biazga, second chance, but he better be careful with 23 minutes left. Playing on a yellow. His was for dissent, if you remember. 2 of 3 yellow cards tonight have been for dissent. It's the second on Chicago. Powell was able to keep it in on the touchline, but not able to get it to Vasquez. Herbers up the right side. El Selassie wide open, pulls it down outside of the 18. Looking for a cross, comes up off the arm of Marin and out on the end line. You can hear the roar of approval from the Bay League.
I was surprised on the pass that he wasn't offside.
Me too. What's wild is that Shaqiri and Chris Penso, we're seeing a replay of that whole conversation. The conversation was done and they were walking away from each other, and Jared decided, you know what, I got one more thing I want to say. And Chris said, that's fine. I have something I want to say as well. Here's a yellow card. Suke on the far side. El Selassie started the match against Cincinnati back in March. Into the midfield. Shaqiri had a touch, but it got away from him. Now Wobodo looking for a step on Aceves. Those two holding each other off. And in the end, Obina Wobodo will be whistled for the foul. Alonzo Aceves did well there with Wobodo doing everything he could to get the possession back. Here comes another sub. It'll be on the back line. Suke is going to come off. And into the match will be Rafael Shihas, who scored on a penalty kick, if you remember, in that 3-3 match in the first meeting this season. So he'll come in and slot on the back line. And FC Cincinnati's going to counter with a substitution. Ray Gaddis off, and Santi Arias into the match. Gaddis' night comes to an end after 69 minutes. And a free kick coming here for Chicago. 0-0. FC Cincinnati have had just one match and scoreless this year. Only 3 draws on the ledger so far. And that was in match day number 2. You got to go all the way back to that match at Orlando to find the only scoreless draw this season for FC Cincinnati. Where's Chicago coming off a scoreless draw on Wednesday night against Toronto?
It's a great tackle.
Wobodo
just to stick that out. His timing was so good.
Baji on the far side. Drives into the 18. Baji looking for someone to draw it back to. Vasquez nearly found it. Olmsberg had just a step on him and poked it out to the far touchline. Quickly he'll be thrown in by Alvaro Barrion. Remember when you said Alvaro's minutes might be limited tonight?
Yeah.
Energizer Bunny keeps on chugging. Baji into the 18, takes a shot. The save was made by Ritchie, but the flag went up on the pass to Baji. So it would not have counted. Would have been our first shot on target of the night. Forget about that. Chicago does have 2 shots now. They have not put one on target. Cincinnati, 14 shots in this match. And neither goalkeeper has a save. Spencer Ritchie play the ball on the goal kick. Cincinnati will put some pressure forward. They'll send it along towards Kai Kamara. Matt Biazga won the header, but Kai Kamara was offside. Cincinnati will have a free kick right in the midfield. You see that too often on a goal kick that a player ends up offside. They're announcing the attendance tonight, which we knew the number on Thursday morning. It was announced as sellouts of 25,513 on hand for the 7th time in 9 matches this year. Shaqiri ran into Chris Penso in the midfield, lost the possession. And I think they're going to give the ball to Chicago because Shaqiri should have had that possession. And he couldn't find the ball because Penso was in the way. So they will give a drop ball to Chicago. Much to the chagrin of Luciano Acosta. Chance of FCC will echo throughout the building as we roll into the 73rd minute scoreless. Through the 11 wins this season for FC Cincinnati, none of the game-winning goals have come in the final quarter of an hour. Well, FC Cincinnati have late match magic tonight. Acosta trying to keep the possession, cannot. Haile Selassie took it off his foot. Chicago looking up, trying to find numbers. Haile Selassie's going to give chase. He had a step on Mascara, but a great job by Yersin.
He may have a step on him, but Mascara's one step back was enough.
That has to be a yellow card. Haile Selassie just tossed Yersin Mascara right in front of the assistant referee on the far side. Matt Miazga's over there. They got to get Matt Miazga out of there. There's no doubt Haile Selassie is going to be booked here. Mascara is up barking. And obviously there's some sorting out to be done. Mascara and Haile Selassie were just battling in the corner. And then a shove from Mayer and Haile Selassie. Mascara made sure to go down like usual.
It's become good at that.
Now, remember, he was fined yesterday for embellishment on the contact to his head in the New York City game when we thought there was a bit of a headbutt. He got fined. There was no booking in that moment. He got fined for embellishment. He got the yellow card here for Marin Haile Selassie in the 74th minute. Wobodo towards Baji. He'll bounce back to Wobodo. Onto the left, he finds Barrion. Cincinnati pushing towards the final third. Back to Acosta. Acosta has Barrion inside of the penalty area, rips a shot that catches the near siding of the net. He had Vasquez cutting towards the 6. Maybe should have drawn that one back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough angle to try to shoot and beat the goalkeeper. You got to get it inch perfect. However, Bruno Vasquez was trying to lose in traffic. I don't think he had an open look to try to find him inside either.
Certainly would have been tough. Haile Selassie gets loose again on the right side. Mascara trying to track him down. Back to Jerdan Shaqiri. Wobodo got a touch, but Haile Selassie will get a shot off. It goes wide off a deflection from Mascara. And a corner kick coming here from Chicago, in the 75th minute.
Well, as expected, the game's opened up. There's a lot of back and forth. You know, both teams now look threatening as they attack with numbers. Chicago do as well.
FC Cincinnati have only won at home this year in all competitions, including the U.S. Open Cup. Right now, they're in a scoreless draw with a quarter of an hour remaining. We roll on to the 76th minute, and Jerdan Shaqiri will take the corner kick for Chicago, but he plays it short. Torres back to Shaqiri, sends it into the 18 towards the far post. Brandon Vasquez heads the ball away. Throw-in coming for the Fire. Well, an uneventful first half has had some events in the second half and opportunities for each side. Despite all that, we have yet to see a shot on target. Aceves on the near side with Arias in his face. Crosses it into the 18. Kai Kamara was right there. It came off the face of Kamara as he tried to redirect the ball.
That guy is the guy that you got to watch for as well, as he lingers in the 6-yard box. He always has a knack for just getting on the end of crosses and spills.
Kamara this year, 4 goals and an assist. He has 2 career goals against FC Cincinnati. Acosta to Arias. Arias trying to give it to Vasquez in the penalty area. Got just past him. Baji chasing the ball to be poked out by Chicago. Cincinnati with a throw inside of the attacking third. Comes from the near side. Arias will bring it back to Wobodo. Wobodo cuts towards the goal. Into the middle of the pitch. Over to Mascara on his left. Mascara back to Miazga. Now Powell. Miazga and Mascara. Yersin switches it out on the right side. Arias off his chest. Aceves with some pressure. Was played back. Kamara trying to get to the ball. Powell did well there to keep it away. Great job by Alvis. He has stepped in at center back tonight. Done a nice job. Arias sent it forward. It was clearly a handball on the Sevis. Pat Noonan is screaming. To no avail towards the fourth official. Kenny Arena, I think he's going to be booked. Kenny Arena is being pointed at by the fourth official who just radioed something to the match official. I wouldn't be surprised to see.
I think you're spot on, Tommy. I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Arena continuing to give an earful to the fourth official who's writing something down. So we'll see at the next stoppage. I would imagine we'll see a booking. Arias forward towards Baji. It kind of fell in there awkward. Here comes Richie off his line to keep it away from Vasquez. Plays it over the head of Mosquera. Celentano picks it up at the edge of the 18. Miazga to Powell. Now Arias right in midfield. Santi Arias with Jairo Torres in his face. Costa comes over to help. Powell will work with Lucho in the midfield. Lucho curving it towards the 18. It's going to end up in the direction of Barrial, and Haile Selassie recognized it and had to just chip it out to the end line. Cincinnati has a corner kick coming here in the 79th minute, and finally with their central attacking forwards with height in there to complement the center backs. 25,513 come to their feet here at TQL Stadium, hoping to see their heroes punch one in late in the match. Barrial will take it to the right of Richie. Herbers went down inside of the penalty area. Miazga apparently was the player tangled up with Fabian Herbers. And remember, Matt Miazga already on a yellow card. Shaqiri, who is barking at Miazga right now, also on a yellow for dissent. And there's going to be a conversation with Chris Penso and Fabian Herbers. Herbers sold it. Miazga did a little bit of a push on Herbers, but he went to the Yersin Mosquera acting class. Everything is sorted out. No punishment is handed out. And back to Alvaro Barrial. He'll put his left foot in an out-swinging ball. Vasquez heads it down, but it's deflected away. Kai Kamara with a burst of speed to find the ball. It was perfectly served up. Vasquez put it towards the goal and wasn't able to sneak it past Richie. And then Dom Baji. What a job to get to Kai Kamara. Acosta, two defenders on. Into the middle towards Moreno, misplays the ball. Herbers picks it up. Chicago now 3-on-5. And let's see if they continue to work in transition. Shaqiri will work it to Haile Selassie on the far side. 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. 0-0 here at the fortress known as TQL Stadium. Works back to Shihas. Now Gaston Jimenez. Haile Selassie. Shaqiri. Jimenez. Jimenez towards the box. Jairo Torres is there and receives the pass. Haile Selassie. Across for Kamara. Powell holds him off. Then Baji at the edge of the 18 heads it towards Acosta. Acosta, unbelievable move to get around Almsberg. He gets it forward for Vasquez, who doesn't have any help. Vasquez will be tracked down by Shihas. There were three defenders on Brandon Vasquez. Baji was trying to make the run forward, as was Wobodo, but nobody was near, and it would have taken a miracle for Brandon Vasquez to make something of it. Shaqiri will slow it down for a moment in the midfield. Herbers back to Burks. Burks around Baji. Mosquera trying to drag the ball forward, cannot. Shaqiri ends up with it for Chicago, with a head of steam in the direction of Torres. Arias there to try to knock it away, cannot. Haile Selassie back to Torres. Torres outside of the 18. Aceves just outside of the penalty area. His shot blocked away by Powell, then sent in. Mosquera trying to find the header. A follow by Chicago, but they were offside. And it will not matter. Haile Selassie took a shot, but the flag went up, and Chicago was offside. Cincinnati will quickly put it in play. Although Chris Penso wants them to send it back. And they will try again. Celentano, Miazga. Powell into the midfield. Vasquez. Arias on the near side. Second half sub for the orange and blue. Drives it to his left. He has Lucho Acosta. Brings it down on his foot. Acosta takes a shot. Acosta scores! The Queen City roars as the orange and blue go up 1-0.
Well, it's a brilliant first touch from Acosta and the vision from Arias to find that he drives the ball 40, 50 yards over the back line. Chicago, absolutely sublime first touch from Acosta just to kill the ball. Cuts back onto his right foot, puts it under Spencer Ritchie, runs and celebrates to his family. And what a time for Acosta to change this game.
His 7th goal of the season. Spencer Ritchie will probably be disappointed. Probably should have done a little better on trying to make the save. Did not get enough of the ball as it trickled in behind it. The smoke goes off in the Bailey to our left, and this place roared as that ball rolled into the goal. Acosta waving to the fans as FC Cincinnati leading at home, trying to remain perfect here in the fortress known as TQL Stadium. 8 wins in 8 previous MLS matches here. Now on the cusp of their 9th. But there is still work to be done. 6 minutes plus stoppage time remaining as Chicago will work through the midfield now with a very heightened sense of urgency. Torres with Wobodo on his back. Obi will end up being whistled for a foul. A little bit of an unnecessary one. Torres didn't have great control of the ball. There will be a substitution for FC Cincinnati. They will get Acosta off, and Malik Pinto will come on to try to help close this one out. Pinto has been good coming on for about 8, 10, 12 minutes at the end of these matches for FC Cincinnati. The Bailey absolutely rocking to our left right now. This is the 5th and final substitution for Pat Noonan. Acosta hands the captain's armband off to Miazga. Of course, takes a few extra seconds. He likes to put it all the way on his arm.
Well, Guy Camaro wanted to grab it and help him. He said, no thanks.
No, it's a whole ceremony for Lucho when he hands it off, and he will get a standing ovation coming out of the match moments after giving the orange and blue the lead. Acosta waving to all 25,513 on his way out. Pinto will come into the match, and Cincinnati has to be strong here defensively. 2-man wall in front of Shaqiri and Torres. Torres will step over the ball. Shaqiri swings it into the 18, skips dangerously around, and ends up coming off the head of Alvaro Barrial into the hands of Roman Celentano. Barrial goes down. And I'm sure there's a little gamesmanship in this, but I'm also sure he is completely gassed.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things involved, but expect these last 5 minutes or 4 minutes while stoppage. I'm sure we're going to have a decent amount for stoppage. Just expect there's going to be a couple more twists in this game.
86th minute right now. Wobodo into the midfield. Pinto plays it forward for Vasquez. He has Barrial there with him as well. Wobodo back over to Powell. Powell in the midfield for Miazga towards Vasquez. On to Arias. Santi Arias on to Moreno. Baji's touch pings towards Gaston Jimenez. Jimenez will drop it back to Omsberg. Aceves tried to drive the ball forward. It came off of Arias. It'll be a throw-in for Chicago right outside of their defensive third. Omsberg for Aceves. Shihas taking his time as Chicago tries to set things up in the attack. Sent towards Kai Kamara, right at the center circle. Torres sends it over to the far side. That goal by Lucho Acosta was the first shot on target for either team in this match. Aceves back to Shaqiri. FC Cincinnati 11-0-2 when they score first this season. It's the 14th time in 16 matches the Orange and Blue have struck first. Spencer Ritchie. Forward to the foot of Herbers. Back to Shihas. FC Cincinnati probably okay with Chicago taking time trying to get set here. Almsberg for Torres, spins away from Moreno, but then Arias gets a touch. Vasquez trying to get to the ball, cannot. Torres in the midfield. Moreno put his foot out trying to get to it. That advantage will be given on a foul against Wobodo. On the far side, Haile Selassie is taken down by Alvaro Barrial. Alvaro is going to pick up a yellow card here. It is his 5th of the season. However, he did not pick one up in New York City, so he got one back for good behavior. And Alvaro is not suspended from the match next week at Vancouver. It does, however, set up a dangerous free kick inside of the final third for Chicago.
Well, I think it's just a tired tackle, just lunges.
I agree.
Definitely a dangerous free kick. I would imagine Shaqiri's going to whip this in with his left foot.
Torres is there as well, but you're probably right. It seems to be Xherdan Shaqiri territory. Here it comes. Shaqiri with his left across the penalty area. Powell stepped in front of Celentano, knocks it away. Out to Herbers. He'll keep it alive for Chicago. Back to Aceves. Driven towards the penalty area, headed on. Miazga got a piece. Now Powell tracking the ball, sends it towards the midfield. It'll bound out, a throw in for Chicago, but out in the midfield. Aceves. Gaston Jimenez. No indication yet on stoppage time, and again, we expect there will be a bit. 1-0 FC Cincinnati in the 90th minute. 9 of the 11 wins this season for the Orange and Blue have come by just one goal. They're on the cusp of another. Sent towards the penalty area. Miazga heads it away from Kai Kamara. 4 minutes of stoppage time tacked on. Hold your breath, Queen City. Aceves back to Almsberg.
I got you.
Inside of the center circle. Aceves up the near side. Jairo Torres giving chase towards the corner flag. Able to keep it alive. Back to Aceves. Inside of the penalty area. Brings it back. Fabian Herbert straight up into the air. Arias trying to get to it, cannot. Moreno looking for a touch, does not. Jimenez at the edge of the 18, across the box, finally cleared away by Miazga. Then Vasquez trying to get to the ball, and somehow, some way he does. He's going to overhit it in the direction of Barrial, who did everything he could to get to the ball on the far side. Throw into Chicago. 1 of the 4 minutes of prescribed stoppage time expired. Sent forward by Shaqiri. Kamara will head it on. Barrial gets a touch the other way for Cincinnati. Baji in the midfield, battling for the ball, as is Pinto and Wobodo. Mosquera is the one to send it towards the center circle, but nobody there in blue. Wyatt Almsberg onto the near side. Torres. Torres for Aceves. Aceves will battle with Moreno. Junior Moreno will be whistled for a foul. And here comes another dangerous free kick. As Moreno was trying to poke it away, picks up the foul.
That's a tough thing. Again, you're giving the opponent set pieces and chances, and this is where they can excel. With Shaqiri, it's just wicked delivery, and the guy like Kamara looming in the box. Not a good situation for FC Cincinnati as they try to close out this game.
Shaqiri again with his left foot into the penalty area, headed away. It comes out to Herbers. Herbers just outside of the 18. Back to Shaqiri on the near side. Arias will close in on him. Shaqiri on the cross. It's headed up into the stand. Shehus was there, but not able to redirect it on frame. Good-looking ball from Teardown Shaqiri. Half of the 4 minutes of stoppage gone.
I think FC Cincinnati have to be a bit more intelligent in possession, out of possession, in possession. Just make the field a little bit bigger and kind of stretch. And then out of possession, they've got to stop fouling in these dangerous areas. They've got to stand up and force Chicago to essentially break them down.
Ritchie across midfield. Vasquez trying to get to the header, cannot. Aceves swipes at the ball. It ends up in the second row of the stands. And there'll be a throw in at midfield for FC Cincinnati, who will be in no type of a hurry to take it. Arias will throw it in, and Cincinnati will try to kill some of about 60 seconds remaining in the match. Santi Arias looking up the right side. Sends it off to Dom Pachi, who will flick it forward in the direction of Vasquez. Vasquez gets the ball, turns towards the 18. Aceves held him off. Barriol and Pinto not able to get to the ball. It'll drift behind Wobodo. Now Moreno. Badji will take the ball towards the corner flag. Now maybe he can kill the clock. Two Chicago players will come in on Don Badji. The veteran holding on to it ends up tapping it out. Spencer Ritchie will have a goal kick with about 30 seconds remaining here at TQL Stadium. The orange and blue clinging to a 1-0 advantage on the cusp of win number 12. Ritchie will send it into the Knights' air across midfield. Mosquera there on the header. Barriol forward for Vasquez. Cincinnati now will try to kill the clock. Wobodo over to the left, Barriol. This should do the trick. Barriol on the far side. He will just stand there and force Chicago to take it away. A full-time whistle. FC Cincinnati wins 1-0, and they are dancing in the Bailey tonight. A Luciano Acosta game winner in the 83rd minute. The difference, and the orange and blue remain perfect at home. Their 9th league win. And how about this team? 3 more points for FC Cincinnati and 9 points in the 3 games in the last 8 days.
I mean, just incredible performance again. To kind of get through it and to get the win. It was a moment of brilliance from Luciano Acosta. That was the difference in the game, but you expect that from him. But the string of performances with rotation, it's just so impressive. Tell me to think about what this team has achieved in such a short time and what they continue to do. What lays ahead of them as they put themselves in a great position with another 3 points at home.
It really has been impressive over and over and over again. And look, this team has benefited from 9 home matches in their first 16. But they've taken care of business on the road as well. 3-1-3 on the road, now 9-0-0 here at home, and a big U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal coming up on Tuesday. And they have some guys who didn't play heavy minutes tonight available for that one. We will hear, of course, from Pat Noonan here momentarily and get his thoughts on the orange and blue victory, their 12th of the season. This team now has won 6 straight league matches, and they are unbeaten in their last 8 in Major League Soccer play. So all the handshakes will continue down on the pitch as we await words from the gaffer. But FC Cincinnati continues to steamroll this league, now with 39 points through their first 16 games. Brad Noonan will get the headset on, and he is just about set, getting his handshakes in. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
On the win tonight. Your men had to dig deep. That game winner from Luciano Acosta, the first time you got a game winner in the final quarter of an hour. How impressed were you with the way your team performed in the final 45 minutes?
I was very pleased. I thought to be able to have the patience and have some tired legs, but try to figure out how to win in a different way. You know, we hadn't seen a whole lot of teams that were that deep for that long, and we struggled to find some ideas. But I think in the second half, the guys made a couple good adjustments to allow us to just get into the box. And, you know, Kimi had a couple good looks. Santi, a great ball there for Lucho at the end. But, you know, it looked like a game that was going to take one moment, and we found it.
But obviously a massive moment for Lucho, just individual effort. And a moment of, again, we've seen it time and time again, genius. How important is Acosta for this team?
Yeah, he I won't say won us a game, but he gets the big play in the big moment when, you know, I'm sure they feel the fact that we hadn't lost at home. And this is a guy that is, you know, the team looks to in big moments. And he came up in a big moment for us with heavy legs.
Does he ever get tired, Coach? Because it doesn't look it.
I'm sure he does, but he's not going to tell me that.
Congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Appreciate Pat Noonan joining us here on the post-game report. Luciano Acosta goes the entire way tonight. Thank gosh he did. Got the game winner in the 83rd minute. And FC Cincinnati now through 10 MLS meetings against Chicago lead the series 4-3. And 3. We'll step aside, take a break as the celebration continues down at the Bailey end. The players celebrating with their faithful supporters, and we'll have our post-game report. Much more to talk about. Win number 12 next on ESPN 1530.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
I'm Israel Gutierrez. I'm hosting a new podcast called 4 Years of Heat. It takes you to Miami from 2010 to 2014, where LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade set the NBA ablaze.
You know, have an opportunity to team up with the best trio to ever play the game of basketball.
We'll take you inside those 4 monumental years with behind-the-scenes access and insight about one of the greatest teams ever assembled. 4 Years of Heat on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.